I'm trying my best.
Adrex and Birdie.
Yeah.
You guys are going around this wall down here and checking the mast and playing with the door, going upstairs and downstairs and every which way.
Yeah.
After kind of searching around inside the surgeon's quarters, what do you tell Yashnars you're doing, by the way?
Adrex would be honest. He's got a good working relationship with Yashnars.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just looking for trap doors, holes, things of that sort.
And he makes a comment to the effect of you've been working in these rooms with him for months, and perhaps you would have seen a trapdoor by now, but he leaves you to it. When you guys come back down, you see Wendy just standing
as well as I thought he did.
in a quiet part of the hold, just talking to the wall.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, Adrex.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just... How do you make friends with a ghost?
Well, in our experiences, usually the ghost is the first to make contact with us and wants to be friends with us. So, I don't know.
Do you think, like, they have a specific type of food they like? Hardtack?
Raazu, this is where you find Wendy talking to this wall.
She's gone barmy.
How about... Wait. I got it. Ghost's favorite food. Goulash. Blueberries.
Raazu gets out the whip. Hi, Birdie. How you doing?
Wait a second. What did we do?
Wendy, I have a side job for you.
No, but like, wait. So this all started when we found a note, right? And it said, "I know what you did."
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we think this ghost tried to, like, get one over on us. What did we do?
I don't know. But, Wendy, I have a side job for you. Maybe taking your mind off of that will help you think better about it later.
What is it?
I want you to see if you can figure out what... Get eyes on C's rune.
I think I'm going to have some difficulty with that, Captain.
Oh, god damn it. It never impairs you in combat, but...
Okay, listen, so when you're in combat, right, when you think a space is empty, it's not. It's constantly filled with these flowing patterns of the wind.
Quick,
now,
somebody
I can
get her an
detect
onion.
these patterns.
So,
No, I get you. I get the idea.
Is this what you mean by not be where the sword is?
Yes, exactly. See, Adrex gets it.
Wendy, I got it.
Yeah.
Bananas.
I mean, they do prevent scurvy, don't they?
I
Red.
mean, it would have to be something we've done since we've been in contact with the ship. So
Like-
it could be anything that happened when we were at what the hell was the name of the pirate town?
Kovnos?
Kovnos, or in the time we've been on the ship. So it can't be that long, right?
Sure.
So do you think it was addressed to one of us in particular? Because it was just Red and Birdie down there, yeah?
Birdie
I mean, I
looks
went down there.
very, very not guilty. Yep, not guilty at all.
Birdie, you been trapping the ship?
No.
Okay. He sounds really disappointed, so I believe him.
But...
Three heads turn.
But...
But
Birdie whispers very I don't want to say this out in the open.
Okay. So...
whispered
stay
in my
here.
ear.
Let's go. Oh, where are we at?
You're
We're
down there.
deep in the hold.
Yeah,
Okay.
one night. Yeah.
Let's go in here.
Alright.
All right. So, like, Red might have stabbed somebody, and I might have been there.
Raazu closes her eyes.
Might have or did.
Like, like I'm not gonna confirm or deny without him here, but like it wasn't on the ship, and he deserved it. So, like, do you think that could be what?
Who was it who deserved it?
Who deserved it?
Birdie looks at him and goes, "You know who Red stabbed. Don't even pretend like you don't know."
Oh, he wasn't a member of the crew. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
but
that was
that's the only thing like that I can think of that we've
No,
done.
that ghost doesn't care about him. Don't
But
worry.
at the same time,
Nobody cared that we stabbed that guy.
at the
Okay,
same time,
like I can't think of anything else that we have done that would warrant a vaguely threatening note from a spiritual entity.
All
from
right,
what
so
you told me, hey, can I? From what y'all have told me of the man, he was pretty much a scumbag anyway. But
Pirates.
again, like I said, he's not part of the crew. But at the same time, he was a prominent member of Kovnos, and
nobody cares.
You just sort
It's
of
fine.
destabilized that.
Only
we did a
little
good
bit.
job in the Kovnos.
Red, what do you do to
Stabilize that.
contact Ugra Underfoot?
Which one is that?
That's Scampers.
Just the Night Watch.
Oh, okay.
Is that your next?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
interview Scampers next.
Okay. How do you go? Well, first of all, let me ask: are you going to do this while he's on duty or not?
I'll get all of the stories from the day shift and then wait for the night shift.
Okay.
To be, like waking up but not on duty yet.
So
The stories from the rest of the day shifts. It's much like any story aboard the ship. Do you bring up Flummox Snee at all in your investigations?
Nope. I mean, again, I'm mostly taking notes to see like who was at dinner where and when they left, and
Okay.
anyone who I think might be lying to me.
Druner and Grogvan, the two orcs.
Mm-hmm.
The two remaining orcs, 'cause apparently one of them died. I don't remember where he died, but he's dead.
I thought he got brain damaged.
I think the Kraken got him,
There was a
or
crack-
he was crushed.
Oh, yeah, I see what you did there. The two orcs, they... I mean, obviously, if anybody is sabotaging the ship, it's clearly one of the bugbears, without a question.
Right.
One of the orcs, however, the older one, he confirms what Gu told you earlier about Ned Noakes' rune.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he has not trusted the man since. Anybody who wields a kind of magic that can go into your brain and make you see your friends as enemies, how could you have that man work in any state of authority aboard a vessel?
Mm-hmm.
And he makes sure that nobody's overhearing, and he leans in real close, and he says, "Between you and me, I heard that he was conspiring with a Dragonborn in the Kovnos to overthrow the captain."
That's new information. Where'd you hear it?
That's new information for you?
No, it isn't, but that's what I tell him.
Oh, you're okay, you're just telling him it's new
Red's
information.
lying.
Red, no.
He's doing a lie, you guys.
So he was so good it filled the DM.
Hey, McLean, if you're listening, that's how you do it.
Ouch. Hashtag shots fired.
And he tells you a little bit about the contacts that Noakes has had with Handax in the Kovnos their past few visits. On 2 occasions, he invited Handax aboard the ship with the captain's leave, of course, to discuss something privately. Somebody heard some things and passed it on, and before you knew it, the man who had heard the things was no longer working aboard the ship.
Was that Goblin 14?
This was an orc. This was a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, he had it from an orc who says he overheard a conversation between Noakes and Handax, and next thing he knew, that orc was no longer working aboard the Deceit.
Okay.
So he tells you if anybody's going to sabotage this ship, it was Ned Noakes for sure. And you don't get anything new from the rest of the day shift people.
So this happened during, like, the time window would have been between the evening meal and the siren attack, right? Because we had our meal at the same time as everyone else.
Yeah, by the time you guys were having breakfast with the captain, that would have been like right after sundown. So that's the day shift had already come off of their duties, and they're the ones that would have had pretty much free reign over the ship.
And was anyone missing from the mess hall? Who normally eats there?
Not that anybody can recall. Everybody seems accounted for. I should have added a few more hands to the ship while they were back in port. I didn't realize how many people you have friggin' died since we got...
Hey, Bertrand, if you take a look at my PMs to you, I sent you some that Wu hired on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I completely forgot.
Oh, yeah, he did. He bought a bunch of guys from Bob.
Yep.
They don't have
Also,
any new information either, though.
I'm gonna be real with you. You could just add people. We wouldn't notice.
I mean, they're just happy to be here.
Here you go. I'll repaste that to you.
But then tonight, you're going to talk to Ugra Underfoot.
Love that
So-
guy.
I have an idea for you getting on his good side.
What's that?
Offer him one of the 378 hits of acid that Raazu bought. Somebody actually did that math.
It's a lot of drugs that Raazu brought aboard. Word gets around that there's going to be fresh food and rum served on the main deck to all hands.
When Wendy hears that from somebody that she didn't tell, she knocks on the wood and says thank you.
So, Nodal, I need you to mute your headset for a second so you don't hear what I'm about to say. It would be tragic. But it was actually Sweetie Bird who got the word around. It wasn't a ghost. Okay.
All right, I'm back. What's up?
No, it's fine. I just need to explain to everybody else something, but I didn't want you to hear it because I didn't want to break your heart. That's what it was.
No, yeah, sure.
And yeah, I mean, they've butchered and cooked up this siren meat. I mean, it tastes just like any other kind of large fish, pretty much. Some hands on deck do have some reservations about eating the more humanoid parts of it, but I mean, they both had gigantic fish tails, so there's enough to go around. And Wendy breaks open a couple casks of rum.
Pours a little out on the deck
Okay?
for the ship.
I mean, a lot of rum's gonna get spilled tonight, for sure.
Fantastic.
Noak, standing nearby, is heard to comment that it's definitely a good idea to make sure that the working hands are going to be 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, Noakes is a bummer.
Yeah, way to be a wet blanket there, dude.
Despite Noakes' comments, the bugbears all partake, both of food and drink. There are shanties, there's dancing, and is anybody else doing much of anything before the sun goes down? Long into this party season.
Birdie's not at the party. He's in here.
Okay.
Wendy,
Yeah.
did you make any headway
On
on
what?
talking to C?
I thought you wanted me to go look at something.
Talk to C. See if you can't get her to like show me her rune or something.
Why don't you just ask her?
Because you know her better than I do.
All right. Hey, C. Hey.
You're going to go find C?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's very drunk when you come across her. And she seems very upset about something. What's your passive insight?
It is 18.
There's a great amount of tension when you find her. Is Raazu coming with you?
No, I'm gonna go ask on my own because Raazu seems terrified.
So yeah, she's very drunk when you find her. She's not on duty for another 8 hours after the sun goes down. She's not expected to be on deck. So yeah, how do you open this conversation?
Hey, see what's wrong? You seem upset.
And she says something to the effect, she's slurring. I don't know, can birds slur?
I mean, we do our best.
She says, she imagines that Raazu sent you over.
I say, yeah, she has some rune problems, but I honestly don't care super much about that. What's wrong?
She tells you that she can trust you as a friend, right?
Sure.
And you get the sense that she's about to impart like a secret to you, but she's about to do it very drunkenly and very openly here on the main deck.
Okay, wait, hold up. Let's go let's take some of this alcohol. Let's go down into the deck. We can talk about it there.
Okay. You learn 2 pieces of information when you get C to calm down a little bit. Make a persuasion check, actually. Let's do that. Make this at advantage because she's extremely drunk and you have a previous relationship with her.
That's good, because I rolled a 14.
A 14? Yeah. She shares 2 pieces of information with you. One, that she and Mr. Aldosh, the Dragonborn, are lovers. And that she's extremely upset because apparently earlier today, Raazu forced her way into his room. And then she paints you a picture which, quite frankly, you didn't think Raazu had it in her.
Okay. That sucks. So here's the thing. I'll yell at Raazu because I think... So Raazu's really good at a lot of things, right? Like, very strong, a lot of super great stuff. Doesn't have any people skills. I think... And I just think this. I think she might have been trying to figure out what kind of magic he has. Like, you know, like your really cool falling thing that I saw you do from the mast, which was rad, by the way. You don't need to fly, because that was cool as hell.
So you're trying to convince her
that
that this was a misunderstanding. That Aldosh misread the situation and Raazu was too oblivious to notice what was going on.
So here's the thing. I don't think Raazu fucks.
She's like nobody?
Like ever. We were at this elf place this one time. Anyway, didn't do a thing.
You tell her about the comfort house in the Feywilds.
Yeah, and about the elf bird. So I think
you see gears kind of turning in her head, like she's putting it together. Like the only thing this hobgoblin's ever cared about was military order, and then she gets slaughtered in combat. But even that doesn't stop her. She washes back ashore. Yet you see the gears turning in her head, and this anger starts to slide away as you explain the situation.
So I think what she should have done is come to you. Just ask you how your boyfriend's doing. Which, by the way, good work.
I don't think I actually have their runes handy. I might. Let me see if I can upload them. In the meantime, Red.
Mhm.
The sun goes down. Are you waiting for Scampers to come up on deck to take his position in the crow's nest? Or are you going to catch him somewhere else?
No, I'd like to catch him before he actually has to do work.
Okay. Make a perception check
Mhm.
At disadvantage.
Okay.
Because he's a really hard mofo to spot.
Would it be?
I'm going to try to
Well,
speed through these last couple scenes because I do
Okay.
have to... I have about half an hour
That would
before I got to wrap
be
it up.
a 13.
A 13. You don't manage to spot him anywhere before the sun completely sets.
Okay.
So you're going to have to settle for coming up onto the main deck for when he takes the crow's nest. So the question then becomes, are you staking out right at the base of the mast to intercept him?
No, I'll wait until the shift is started and go up to the crow's nest.
Okay.
It's quiet enough up there.
I'm sorry, you said you're going to go up into the crow's nest with him?
Yeah, I'll wait until after he's, gotten situated. Give him like half an hour or something.
Okay. And, by the time you wait a half an hour, you climb up there. He is stoned out of his mind. Whatever he's been getting, his sweet smoke that he's been getting from Yashnar's, he's living large when you get up there.
Oh, okay. Is he
He's
coherent enough
cognizant.
to...
Yeah, he's cognizant.
Okay.
He can have a conversation. He greets you in his own way by saying that he didn't know snakes could climb.
So, did you see anything before the siren attack?
Are you asking me if I saw the sirens that were coming aboard the ship to tear you and yours apart and decided not to say anything because I thought it would be funny?
No, did you see anyone anywhere else? Like before you came up to the mast, before you came up to have a lookout?
He says that he doesn't pay much attention to what other people are doing aboard the ship. It doesn't interest him, and perhaps it would do you well to know your place and stop poking your nose into other people's affairs.
Well,
If
whose
you don't know
affairs are
how, I can teach you.
I'm all up for learning new things. Whose affairs am I poking
It's
into?
very easy. Here's how you do it. You mind your own fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the whole lesson.
Sorry, I'm a little slow. Could you repeat that?
And he does, and he repeats it in a couple languages, and he goes real slowly.
Mm-hmm.
He seems abnormally upset with you about something.
Yep. Was he on the crow's nest when the sirens attacked?
This would have been like right at the shift change. It was like right as the sun was starting to come up.
Mm-hmm.
At that particular moment, nobody was in the crow's nest because C had come down to the deck
Okay.
in order to help fight. Scampers was in the crow's nest. He packed wadding in his ears and he hunkered down to make sure that he was safe.
Okay.
But yeah, C was on duty. He climbed up to take over for her, but he wasn't doing anybody any good up there. The fog was really thick. He had wadding in his ears. C was on deck with a bow and arrow.
Okay, so let's go ahead and burn 2 blips for detect thoughts and get some surface thoughts as I continue this conversation.
His surface thoughts are... I don't know that kobolds can feel the sensation of guilt, but whatever the closest kobold analog for guilt is, that's what his surface thought.
Fear on getting caught.
Yeah, there it is. Fear of getting caught. Yeah, that's what is on his surface thoughts. However, his surface thoughts are very muddled and disorganized because sweet smoke.
And so the stuff Yashnars gives you, you never have to go into the hold for that, right?
He says that you're the shittiest student he's ever met in his life.
I mean, he's got you there.
He's not.
Does that bring any thoughts to his mind about being in the hold, or is he just mad at me?
Are you pushing deeper?
Not yet. I'm trying to do it with conversation to get him to think about it before I actually use the magical effect. But if that doesn't work, I'll.
It doesn't change his surface thoughts at all. But that's what's at the forefront in this conversation: is this fear of getting caught.
Yeah, let's go ahead and probe deeper for the last time. Let me think. Something that looms large. Let's do probe for anything he might have ever, anytime he might have ever interacted with that harp.
Okay.
Or any of the other treasure.
He gets a wisdom saving throw, right?
I believe a 15. It's intelligence based, isn't it?
Is it an intelligence saving throw?
It's because it's a rune spell.
It's a wisdom
it's
save.
a wisdom
but it's,
save, yeah.
Yeah, it's based off your
save.
intelligence, though. Okay. He's
Let me
rolling
double
at
check. My
disadvantage
proficiency
because
hasn't increased.
his brain is addled. How's a 4 do?
Yeah, no, that doesn't do it.
Okay. I have some runes for Windy once this scene is over with. So you start searching for thoughts about this harp. You see he knows what the harp is.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where it's kept. He's never personally handled it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an attachment to this layer of his thoughts involving a sense of like smugness, a sense of victory over one of his other crewmates associated. You're not sure if it's with this harp or with the magic item hold in general.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely attached to this feeling of guilt. Do we need to invent a word, like a kobold word that means...
Well, like Schadenfreude?
Well, since he didn't pass that, can I find anything in there about the last time he got one over on one of his crewmates?
Are you going to the next layer down?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a 5.
Keep at it, little buddy.
One of his favorite hobbies, he has the ability to go invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses this ability to learn secrets of other crew members.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially blackmails them. He makes a lot of coin this way. And he has a potentially harmful secret in place about Runthael.
Mm-hmm.
And going in with these thoughts, it's almost as like he's at war with himself. Like the part of his brain that remains reasonable was like, you've got this secret, you should use it. The other part of it is, they call her the fucking hammer. You don't want to tug at this string. And it has something to do with nails.
Mm-hmm.
He saw her doing something with nails somewhere aboard the ship. And she doesn't know that he saw her. Meanwhile, in reality, he's still berating you for not being able to mind your own business.
Let's just keep digging. Let's see if what's his strongest preoccupation with, let's say, Ned Noakes.
With Ned Noakes?
Yep.
He's never going to pass this save.
Looking for a 15, by the way.
Yeah, I can't. I think I'd have to literally roll a 16 to get a 15. He thinks very, very little about Ned Noakes.
Mm-hmm.
Scabbers is not a man that respects any kind of authority at the best of times.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he knows the shit about Ned Noakes and Hand Axe, essentially.
Yeah.
and you find a memory where he's tried to bring this up in a moment of uncharacteristic clarity and sincerity. He brought it up to the captain. Hey, Noakes has this thing where he's trying to push you off the ship, and the captain apparently knows about it and continues to defend Noakes and didn't act on it. And Underfoot decided he washes his hands of that business with Noakes. He doesn't do anything to blackmail Noakes. For one, Noakes outranks him on the ship. And for two, he has 4 very muscular bugbears at his beck and call. Mm-hmm. So again, that's kind of a self-preservation issue.
What about, let's probe for Quazginkle.
Quazginkle?
Yep.
A 10's not going to do it. Quazginkle, you learn, has been spying on the 5 of you as much as he possibly can ever since the initial altercation between him and Birdie and Nem, the very first couple days you all were aboard the ship. When you were all in the Kovnos, Quazginkle gave some gold to, I forget the guy's name, the rat folk, the information broker, to try to find dirt on the 5 of you, thinking he could turn that into profit for himself. He's ambitious, but he's very, very stupid. He's not good at this game he's playing. And Scampers is basically just watching him with amusement, waiting for this to just blow up in his face.
And,
Does not seem to be anything there related to the harp, though.
What about the boson?
Rosh Aldosh?
Yep.
Another 4.
Just scoop his brains out with a spoon, why don't you?
Yeah,
That's exactly what he's doing. Aldosh is carrying on an amorous tryst with the day watchman C, and they're more or less keeping it secret because they know that the captain frowns upon such fraternization while at sea.
Has he been bribing either of them over that, or blackmailing either of them over that?
He has not, and so far neither of them know that he knows. And it's actually kind of dirty because you just think he just enjoys watching. He's just getting his kicks.
All right, let's dig. Here's what I want to find. I want to find the person who gave him the best thing in exchange for the blackmail. Like, what is his best payoff? So I'm running out of rounds here.
How many rounds do you have left?
Let's see. 1, 2, I think I've got 4 left after this.
Okay. The best thing he received was a pouch. I mean, this is a very simple-minded man. The best thing he received was a pouch of platinum coins. He received it from Calcine, the ship's navigator. And the secret that he came into possession of is that the captain is not the one who can control the winds.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
That's not his magic. Calcine paid him to keep this quiet because she didn't want the captain to find out that one of his men was this treacherous. And being fairly wealthy, she was able to give him more coin than he was able to spend in various colorful and entertaining powders to send up one's nose.
Let's go ahead and try. Boy, what's the alchemist's name?
Rhodos.
Rhodos.
Ooh, an 18.
Oh, it does it.
So you see him kind of hold his forehead for a moment. He's, what are you about?
Oh, I'm supposed to be keeping my own business, and I'll slide down the rope.
Got him.
Okay, I have to load in. I'm sorry, I gotta crash everybody's thing here. I gotta load in a tablet because C is going to share her rune with Windy and also describe. Well, I guess, yeah, she has to describe both of them because Windy doesn't have eyes. Yeah.
Wendy, however, has enough wisdom to have a really good memory.
Oh,
We
tabletop.
have that
don't crash.
calligraphy, right? You can just draw it as she describes it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Immiger. What's fun is like the my top row of Immiger images are all the battle mats that I was intending. Like I was intending to get to one or two of them this week, but
That's weird.
yeah, this.
Why things happened.
Yeah, we
Apparently.
never stole anything.
Okay, I'll make sure that I don't mix these up, because that would be tragic. Alright, so this first one is Aldosh's rune, described by the drunken Aarakocra watchman.
Kobold friend, are you on this one?
Yeah, I got it.
Look at all those hands rubbing this rune.
Yep.
So that's Aldosh's rune. And it's on his shoulder. He thinks, or he thought for many years that it was a birthmark. And when he was very young, he was ashamed of it. And so he actually got his entire shoulder tattooed, which for a Dragonborn can be a very harrowing experience. So if you were to look at it, it would be very, very stylized. It wouldn't look much like this rune. There's lots of little designs and spiraling patterns around both of his shoulders to try to hide what he thought was just a very strange birthmark. It wasn't until he began serving aboard this vessel that he came to learn that it was a source of magic. And she does confirm that his spell is the Entangle spell. He can cause roots and vines to grow even out of the wood of the decks of ships to grab and restrain people. The other one, I mean...
Wendy doesn't have eyebrows,
Mhm.
but
Eye feathers.
eye feathers, just like, nice.
This is C's rune.
Too many suspects.
And you already know what her spell does.
Uh-huh.
What is her spell?
Featherfall.
Okay.
And as the evening wears on and the casts of run begin to dwindle and there's no more siren left to eat,
I'm gonna go look for Red.
okay. Raazu.
Did you tell Raazu? Oh, I was about to ask Wendy. Did you tell Raazu about your conversation?
Oh, she's not going to have time.
Okay.
Because Wendy's going to go look for Red. And as you're kind of watching this party wind down, by which I mean men are starting to just collapse into unconsciousness on the deck, C kind of stumbles over towards you, having difficulty finding her footing because she's had a great amount of rum, having recently been crying from the looks of it. And she grabs you by the shoulders, and she tells you that Wendy explained everything, and that she's sorry for any misunderstanding. She's sad for you that you never fuck.
Raazu raises an eyebrow, pats her on the shoulder, and says, "You're all right. Just take it easy, and
What's the name of this video?
maybe I'll
Okay.
find someone for me one day."
You can't name the video that. Because right now I have a little thing on my YouTube page that says the Flumph account is in good standing.
Just name the video "I'm sad for you" and let people come to that on their own.
I just picture this bird, like white girl drunk. She's crying because she feels like Raazu can't get any.
White girl falcon drunk.
Okay. Adrex, are you doing anything else before turning in for the night? We're gonna start tying this up now. I basically just got the 10-minute warning from the wife, like, it's 5:30, are you done yet?
Alright, then no. Adrix will hunker on in for the evening.
So not doing anything else as far as the investigation for the evening?
No.
Did you partake of Wendy's free rum, by which I mean drink all the other men's rations?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I got something to tell you about that, by the way.
Oh, God. Birdie.
You didn't take his green grog.
Yeah.
Doing anything else before we
No,
jump in?
I'm just still in here, and I'm gonna sleep in here.
Okay. You're gonna sleep
Got
in
the
there.
got the door locked and everything.
It's funny. Raazu.
Does Wendy tell Raazu about the conversation he had with C?
Eventually.
Right now,
Then-
Wendy...
If you need that to happen in order to do something, then yes.
Then Raazu will go to Rosh Aldosh and sincerely apologize because she had no idea.
Make a persuasion check.
I feel like you did have an idea at the end. I feel like that's a great big old honking
Make a
lie.
deception check.
He rolled 20 on his insight, so...
That's a 21. I seriously did not know.
He still seems very weirded out by the entire thing. He tells you, though, that it's important that you don't spread the word about him and C. The captain doesn't look kindly upon fraternization aboard the vessel.
Mum's the word.
So yeah, Wendy and Red.
Mm-hmm.
What's the
Red,
haps?
we're friends, right?
Yeah.
'Cause you're a good friend to me. Also, I may have used up all of our rum and you can't have any more.
Oh, it seems fine. It's a poison. It doesn't really do much to me.
Sure. Yes. and also Birdie's rum. And also Adrex's and also Raazu's, and I'm gonna need your help explaining that to them.
Birdie doesn't drink. He don't care.
I think Adrex might have a problem with that.
But we're good friends with the ghost now. Yay!
Does the ghost have more rum for Adrex?
Man, I hope so, because we gave him plenty.
So you didn't use any of the cruise rum. You used your party's...
Well, I mean, I used the cruise rum, but I'm saying if we average it out by us not taking any more.
So now you just have to get Adrex to agree to that.
Yeah.
So there's just one thing I want to remind you of here, Wendy.
Yeah.
How much non-rum drinking water do we have available on this ship?
Well,
Technically, you've got infinite, because Sweetie Bird
She
can
can
purify
purify? Okay.
salt water.
Okay. On any other ship, that would have been a major problem. Because there's a reason you drank a lot of rum.
Yep.
Alright. Unfortunately, I do have to call it there for the night. I gotta break early because Peanut and I have a thing. I try not to have things on Sundays, but
But sometimes the wife wins.
it is the Lord's Day, so... And to her credit, she knows not to cannibalize my Sundays very often. She doesn't do it very much.
is your Lord staying into cannibalism? That's Easter.
We're going down to the, there's a big protest at the Chick-fil-A because they're always closed on Sundays, and that offends me. So that's what we're doing tonight.
Nice.
I do want to just run down the list here, though, just 'cause I'm curious. And let's keep the answers as short as possible, like to a sentence or two, maybe. Because there was a lot of detective work and investigations, and you guys learned lots of little pieces of information about the ship and about various parts of the crew, and then some dumb shit about a ghost. So, Birdie, who's your number one suspect regarding the sabotage of this harp?
I still think... Right now, I'm leaning either towards the hammer or the second mate. But, yeah.
Who do you mean the second mate?
The first mate, sorry.
I don't think
Second
there's-
in command.
Ned Noakes.
Noakes?
Not Ned Noakes, but the lady that's with...
Calcium.
Yeah, thank you.
The navigator.
Okay.
Okay.
Adrex, same question.
You're asking Adrex, right?
Yeah.
Not Matt the player.
Well, I'm interested in both answers, though, if they're different.
They are different. Adrex probably think Ned Noakes.
Okay.
Because rationale being always the person you least suspect, and everyone's like, oh, it's not going to be Ned Noakes at all. It can't be Ned. And especially because Adrex hates Ned Noakes. It's got to be Ned.
No, that checks out. That's fine.
Matt the player thinks it's Calcium.
Calcine.
Yeah.
What does
'cause
Raazu think?
She's weird and mysterious and won't sleep with Adrex.
Okay, yeah. Raazu's player is leaning toward Calcine, but Raazu hasn't gotten all that information yet. So right now, I have a list of the NPCs that the captain gave to us last week, and put a mark next to who I pretty much marked off. I'm going by the rune symbols.
Okay.
And right now, Rhodos is a suspect. Rosh Aldosh is a suspect. Z's an aspect as a suspect.
So you haven't narrowed it down at all. It's still like 10 people.
It's 3 people right now.
3?
3.
Rhodos, Aldosh, and C?
Yes.
What does Red think?
Red's pretty sure no matter who it is, he's going to have to end up framing Scampers for it.
Scamper's gonna have to take the fall.
Yep.
Wow.
What did Scampers do to you?
Nothing, but he seems like a pretty bad influence on the ship, and he obviously has some involvement with it.
I mean, Scampers definitely sucks.
But who does Red think did it?
Boy. Who does he actually think did it? Jeez. Like, I don't think Red actually has a leading suspect.
Okay.
It's like, you did all that, and your takeaway was, yep, gonna have to get this guy killed.
That's what Red always focuses on. Who do we have to make sure is dead by the end of this? And Wendy's going all in on Mr. Snee.
Wendy thinks it was either the ship or just magic itself.
Like, just the concept of magic is fed up
Because
with your
here's
bullshit.
the thing, right? We're having to deal now with tons of magic that takes over people's minds and does horrible shit, right? So it seems likely that if there's going to be some sort of magic war, that somebody who has one of these symbols that doesn't match up could do it and not know they did it.
I'm here for the magic war.
Are we done with this tablet?
Yes.
That. All right.
I think that Wendy needs to make sure that she stays out of Raazu's opium stash.
I don't want your opium stash. I had enough. I did that one.
You didn't get to see all the really pretty colors, though.
Bought the t-shirt and everything, huh?
All right, let me set up a straw
Come
hat
back.
here.
Come back in 200 years and there's gonna be Kovnos t-shirts. It's a tourist trap now.
I mean, Wendy definitely saved Sweetie Bird's life, because she would have been passed out in that friggin' opium den when the wave hit if it wasn't for her.
Yeah,
It's possible.
It's not a bad assessment of the situation.
All right, chat, here is your straw poll for the session.
Wait, didn't you pay for her to go into the opium den too?
I only paid for half.
But didn't you do half of the drugs?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's a lot of drugs in our D&D games, I've noticed.
It's about time.
Only lately.
I feel like we've had at least like one crazy adult drug trip in every campaign so far.
What was it last campaign?
Didn't Keelian get blitzed out of his mind on something at one point?
Multiple times?
I mean, if it was going to be anyone, it was probably going to be Keelian.
He got tied up in
when
a
we-
sex dungeon by a succubus at one point.
He did.
What about
He
when
did.
we went into Pandemonium?
True, I guess sex is the ultimate drug.
We were just high on life.
I feel like Orphan got stupid high several times. Alright, let me... Who wants to make a
Orphan.
case for all of their good stuff this week?
I'll go.
Birdie!
There was a
So, I trapped the door with the bell. The thing straps. I trapped the door with a bell, thinking it would prevent us from getting snuck up on. I insisted on investigating the hold, and then when they had the party, I went back down there. And then-
For what are you arguing for here?
The magic thing.
Your ideal, your bond, your aspect? What are we talking about here?
Oh, sorry. My ideal for going down in the hold.
Okay.
My flaw for trapping the door in the room here, and then the video. So that's 3.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah, this might blow your mind that in my little spreadsheet here I don't have a label that just says the magic thing.
Right.
Who else wants to go?
I'll go.
Wendy.
For my tradition for trying to find a way to use this ship ghost to our advantage. My flaw. Wait, how does that work? For trying to figure out the mechanics for how a ghost would work. I think the Rat Ghost plan was a really good plan, by the way. And lastly, good is working for the benefit of something other than yourself. For completely forgetting Raazu's problem because C seemed really upset.
Okay. I did not expect Wendy to be the one to be all in on the ghost plan.
Ghost plan, ghost plan.
Who's next?
Adrex will go.
Okay.
Bonds. My cool friends and I are working to make the world a better place. It has fallen to me to try and protect them. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
He charged into that door to help Red.
Sure did.
Destroyed the ship in the process. Didn't do anything flaw worthy. So I'm gonna keep it at that, I think. Yeah. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Can't think of anything else?
Oh yeah, adrex.livejournal.com.
Okay.
I'm trying to think like maybe could weasel that as the door, like his energy, like aspect, signature style, energetic.
Well, I think just by default you can't argue your aspect because there was no combat.
Yeah, that's why. Really combat thing. So
Who else?
I've got a couple.
Raazu. What you got?
Personality trait. My anger is aroused. I have trouble thinking straight, and I fear I might do something I regret. She got really mad in that conversation with the party in next to Rhodos when everybody was talking about dumb shit, and she was trying to keep focus on the to keep focus on the.
By which you mean Raazu totally not down with the ghost thing.
No.
Absolutely was not a ghost. Okay.
And that also kind of dovetails into her ideal: work hard, play harder. I earn my leisure time in Biosper, and I use it to my fullest. There wasn't really much time for leisure, so she went all in on trying to get as much information as she could out of the crew that she did speak to.
Okay.
And then her flaw: I take any advantage if I can of away my allies, regardless of the consequences, for quote seducing Aldash. And that did not work.
It's sad because Raazu's got a thing for Dragonborn, but Adrex only has eyes for elves.
It's true.
And the only
This
elf
is a
on
wild
this ship is the
stipulation
captain.
that is. It's a wild stipulation that you only assume is true.
Red, do you have anything for me?
He's an elf expert, that's for sure, but he's also open to being an expert
Yeah,
in other
I've got
fields.
my ideal cold hard logic for trying to solve the investigation by logically figuring out who could have actually committed the crime.
Mhm.
That's it.
Okay, we give 1 blip for the most creative solution to a problem this session.
Oh man, we didn't powwow about this.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to.
Creative.
I had,
Boy,
I
I
had
feel like
several
it should.
amazing combat encounters that I was going to spring on you guys, because I thought we were going to get to this thing pretty quickly, and then you guys would be on the road again. But,
You always say that, and you never.
I know.
So I want to suggest Wendy here, not for the ghost thing, but for solving the problem she created of using up all the ale.
All right. Who was
happy about that when you tell him, by the way.
who was
Who furthered the party's
furthered the
goals the
party's
most?
goals today?
Red for scooping out that poor kobold's brains.
You know, the drugs did most of the work. I just applied a little bit of light pressure.
Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing that he got Nick kicked out of there.
Yeah, agreed.
He's rolling at disadvantage, but he finally did get double 18s. Who was
Who's
a
a
badass
badass?
this week?
I mean, Adrex did just show up, immediately found out that there was a door problem, and dealt with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who's intangible today?
Adrex is like, there's all this complicated problems about ghosts and magic and whatever, but this door I can solve. I got this.
And it was even a magic door. Adrex is definitely stronger than magic.
No, listen, I think we should give the intangible to Raazu for the world's most awkward conversation.
Yes, for party member most in need of sexual harassment training.
That's fine, but I need to hear from Adrex first why I'm great.
Okay.
Because I loved everything about the ghost and dealing with the ghost that you did.
Alright, but then we'll give the blip to Raazu. I just needed to get that was for me.
Thank you for dating to grant me this blessed blip, Nodal.
I'll take it back.
The thing is, I get the feeling that if Wendy had spoken to Rhodos and Rhodos was like, oh yeah, it's absolutely a ghost, Wendy would be like, there's no way it's a ghost. Not possible. Wendy did take our straw poll this week.
It was great because she was the only one that took that angle too, and then pointed it out to everyone like, "We've dealt with ghosts before. It could be a ghost." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're totally right."
Blips are worth
ghosts.
533. Is that correct?
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Raazu, I've got 4 blips for you this week.
Let's see. I think I'm capped out on blips this week.
I got 5 for Wendy.
Yep.
Got 3 for Adrex.
Damn it.
3 for Birdie. And 2 for Red.
Does that include aders.livejournal.com and
Yes, that does.
okay. And the uploads?
Yes.
Yeah, I got all that. Let's see.
Okay.
Adrex doesn't grow his wings at level. What about that?
He'll get there.
He doesn't get the feats at level 10.
Adrex is just gonna put his thumb in his mouth and blow really hard and just pop him out.
All right, that's going to bring us to the end of this session. And I will see everybody but one of you next week. I forget which one. I don't think it matters though.
Treble?
One of them.
Yeah, one of you white boys won't be around to play next week. And we'll decide which one I'm kicking out later because I don't want to think about it right now.
Sounds fair.
Excellent. All right, thanks guys for playing.
Healthy.
Next week we'll find out if any of your guesses are even remotely correct.
Quasginkle!
Ghost plan. Ghost plan.
I mean, this is what's good about, you know,